Chapter is finally here. Friday, Friday, Friday. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Let me tell you, every other time it's always a different vibe before we get onto air. And one day I promise that maybe we will be able to show you behind the scenes, especially on a Friday. And when I talk about Friday, there is only one name that pops up in my head. That is Robert. This is his best day. Officially, we have declared it Robert Day because it's a Friday. It's a whole different vibe. And of course, for we finally made it, and you know, you're healthy, you're doing well, you're surviving. You need to give yourself a pat on the back because perusing through Monday all the way to Friday is not an easy one. This week has been quite challenging, especially when it comes to weather, and I know that a number of complaints have been centered around that. Again, we made it to Friday, so whether it rains or not, it doesn't matter at all. My name is Philomena Masco. It's a full house. I do have Felix, I have Robert, I have Mollen. And because it's a Friday special, we do have a special guest for you. And well, we'll be having quite some special performances from him. We'll be having amazing conversations with him. And of course, talking about this and that. And trying to see how the week went for you. But I will tell you for real, mine was okay. I don't really have so much to, you know, complain about. Unless, of course, Mollen has something to say before I talk to the rest of these boys. Mollen, how was your week?
Well, my week has been good. I can't complain. I know the weather is kind of an issue. A lot of people are complaining, but I don't know. I want to say I'm 50-50. I'm not so excited about it, but also I'm not complaining. So I'm in the middle there.
Ah, come on, Mollen. It can't be gray zone, really?
Yeah, I think I would want to move on from that. I don't want to be captioned for something. You know, it's a Friday. It's here, and of course, a lot is coming your way. The entertainment, Very Poor is already in the house, and obviously we're going to be getting into the music. But guess what happened? Just yesterday, there was a launch of the Nyege Nyege concert. That is, yeah, we're looking forward for Nyege Nyege 2020 officially launched, and it is scheduled for September. So you guys, I think you better brace yourselves for it. This is one of Uganda's best festivals, and of course we'll be looking forward to getting details on who is going to be there. But we do know that it is in the pipeline, and that is one to look out for. And a lot, of course, that is coming your way this weekend, which we'll be diving into as Good Morning Uganda Special Friday continues.
Well, you speak of Nyege Nyege. I have heard all kinds of stories concerning Nyege Nyege from people who have attended it, you know, because it's, I think, a 3-day event or something.
Yeah,
everybody has a story to tell. Some of them are crazy, some of them are hilarious, some of them are shocking, some of them are beautiful.
I bet Robert will be.
But I know Robert for real, because when he talks about it, his body, he couldn't, you know, contain it. The excitement was overtaking him. Robert, do you want to tell us why you're so excited?
You people, life is short. There are moments you should enjoy. And you see the entertainment industry, every day, now, no, you know, in your intro you made one mistake. You said the boys are in the house.
Yes, the boys are in the house. On Friday you are supposed to be called the boys.
Expression,
yes.
It was like calling us boys because now his right category is sugar daddy. That's where he falls now. So he felt offended when you said the boys are in the house. Because like, I'm now a sugar daddy. How do you call me a boy? But anyway, Felix, the boys are in the house. It's a Friday. You look very smart. But for me, why I'm always happy Fridays is because you get some time off to chill, relax, hang up with friends, do some investigative journalism here and there, you know, to discover some of these things. So if you find me in a certain spot, I'm there for journalistic purposes.
All right, totally understand.
Just look at me, understand, he's a journalist, he's here for journalistic purposes.
Yeah, you're sourcing stories.
Yeah, I'm, you know, getting to understand Uganda better and circumstances that happen there. But also there is, yesterday was Thursday. Now, UNEB released the examination timetable. Yeah. And it took me back to remember those days. As there's so much excitement, then you hear timetable ya furumye. 14th October, exams are starting. But I found one thing that really disturbed my mind. When we look at enroll P7, primary 7 registered candidates, girls are more than boys. Now, we continue to senior 4.
Yes.
The number of girls reduces tremendously.
Yes.
Those that have registered for senior 4 exams. When we come to senior 6, it is worse. Though this year, it is funny that candidates that have registered to sit for senior 6 are very less compared to the previous year. Yet we are out of COVID, so I don't know that. But the number of girls keep on reducing at every level you go to.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, what is the problem here? And one was telling me they are taken off by men for marriage. So men, let's leave these young girls complete school. Then you can have them when they are ready enough.
And it does remind me of a video that went viral, I think it was last week or the other week, where there was this little girl, she's a senior 2 student, and she was being forced into a vehicle by gentlemen. And according to the reports that came out, even according to police, they were saying that this girl was being forced into a marriage. And of course, the spokesperson of police was saying, listen, we understand their cultural practices, but also the law is the law. It has to operate. And this right here is illegal, and all the gentlemen that were in that video are going to be held accountable, because that right there is a very, very big crime. So when you talk about, you know, the deductions and the numbers at all levels, especially for girls in candidate classes, it makes quite a lot of sense. Felix, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? I called Felix a boy, and he was not happy about that. He's the first.
Well, above somehow you, fellow. How are you guys? Indeed, it is a Friday, as he did say, and clearly Robert is very much up above him own self, lightened and happy. We don't know if he's going to match up the weekend, because it does come with a lot of spending. So we'll be waiting to see how that definitely happens. But
shall ask for receipts on Monday.
Well, the places where my brother goes, they don't give me.
We want receipts on Monday, Robert.
That's simple as that.
You're but shocked of my expenditure, but well, I spend on myself.
This is economic times.
Tell you what, Friday is a beautiful day, but it's only the beauty lies in the pockets, my brother. The beauty lies in the pockets. It's not about how much you're gonna chit chat.
But some people have membership.
Now you see how far your brother has gone. But anyway, good morning all our viewers, and clearly it's a beautiful Friday. We end in the week, but the beauty is that the question is actually how we end in the week. What much have we been able to cover throughout the week, and definitely what awaits for us in the weekend and thereafter next week. Lots of things ahead of us. We're going to have lots of events this weekend, you know. Many people will be up for some of the shows today. I understand one of our colleagues missed out a ticket for Juliana's show, and he's running all over town trying to find someone who can sell a ticket. So if you're out there and you're selling a Juliana ticket, please contact UBC. In particular, Good Morning Uganda. Look for a producer, the tall man, long man for that matter. Help.
But know this gentleman, at the start of the week, I did not know why
do you know? The man is crazy. How don't you know when the show you love so much is going to be?
We alerted him. We sent him reminders every now and then. I don't know how.
The princess is singing.
The power of village is him. They say, your judges will haunt you wherever you go in the world.
Have helped him get the ticket. You know, now, like at his age, it's very hard to kind of like easily maneuver around and get a ticket.
We tried.
You should have helped him out.
We tried. But anyway, again, Philo and my colleagues here, you see that Robert did talk about peer exams. One of the worst moments of our school was when they told you, for example, I remember we used to do exams in November, if I don't.
Yes.
It used to be November. They told you, like, you would all work towards November. November. But these exams they used to call mocks. Man, for some reason, everyone had to fail those exams. I don't know why. It was probably intended.
I think it was intentional to make you feel like you're not doing enough reading.
Not everyone. You
No,
generalize
wait, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say everyone used to fail except for some of us who actually were able
That's
to.
a good one.
I mean, let me finish the statement. But for the people who used to fail, I used to see the pain and agony.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to you, Philo. And clearly, I feel for the guys who are going to
this
do paper.
conversation is pending. I really need to know, and I'm going to make it a personal project to find out how this man performed. Well, this week also, it was a week of craziness, but also it had, I think it was this week again where we had some cultural practices, especially from our people in Bugisiu land. You look at that picture.
Why does that
look
guy,
at that beautiful picture.
Why does that man look like someone we work with?
How would you see that picture? Apart from Robert, I just want Molen. How would you describe that picture, just in a few words?
Well, to me, the guy looks like someone who is ready to take on the role in society. society, but it seems like the body is not ready for it. I would interpret that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Felix, how would you interpret that picture?
It is something I can do. Simple as that.
Now, that is a boy actually taking part in the traditional initiation circumcision ceremony called the Imbalu for boys who are transitioning into men in the Bugisu community. Now, when I see this picture, I remember a story that ran in one of our dailies where they were talking about how members of members maybe in leadership positions from this part of Uganda were actually running away because, you know, of this practice. It's not an easy one. It takes certain type of bravery for you to undergo it.
They get to know you.
Yeah, exactly, when they get to know that you're the person.
They got a gentleman from Uganda House in broad daylight who was in suits, everything. The Kalani people came, cubbed him, and he went for the knife. And I was like, ah.
Yes, you need to prove your manhood. How brave are you? Well, these are cultural practices, so
yeah, but
it matters to them as a culture.
Do I have to subscribe to that? Do I have to subscribe
It matters to them as a culture.
No, I do not agree. I think if an individual says, you know what, I like this culture, I'm proud Mugisu, however, I don't want to take part in this practice, they should be let be. Like, why would you force them to go through that?
Man, you remain
Well,
you're irrelevant in society.
Well, we don't know, but at least I know that for the Bagisu, they highly and firmly believe in this culture. Although, of course, a fraction of them still don't really subscribe to it. They don't really see the relevance. So it's, I mean, it's that Bagisu versus those Bagisu. So again, but yes, it's quite a very, very come on, Robert. Anyway, there is a lot happening on the international scene and on the local scene. Stories have been reeling in and reeling out this whole week, of course, even yesterday. And now if you missed the bulletins, maybe it's high time for you to know what happened, especially coming to the news desk, starting off with our very own stories here.
Well, it is exam timetable that is out, and that is UNEB. So for candidates, Uganda National Examination Board released this year's examination timetable for primary leaving examinations, Uganda Certificate of Examinations and Uganda Advanced Certificate of Examinations, which will start on the 14th of October with a briefing of, that is, UCE candidates. The whole exercise is estimated to cost 50 billion Uganda shillings. While addressing the press at Media Center in Kampala, the Executive Director, UNEB, Dan Odong, warned that UNEB will not handle any complaints of registration at examination day, advising parents to take their children to schools with UNEB registration numbers.
Well, of course, now also from Parliament, the Kusasi Committee has learned that Uganda Airlines CEO Jennifer Bamutura Musime does not only lack the requisite qualifications for the position, but also has failed to produce the supporting documents to the qualifications she claims to have attained. And the committee has also discovered that most of the top Ugandan Airlines top staff, including Jennifer Mtraki, participated in awarding of contracts without competitive bidding that caused losses in the airlines. Now, officials from Uganda Airlines were appearing before the committee for the third day on the inquiries over irregular operations at the airlines.
And away from that is airline, but still in Parliament, government is in advanced stages of restoring power supply at Isimba hydropower plant, which was shut down recently. The Minister for Energy and Mineral Resources, Ruth Nankabirwa, while updating Parliament on the status of Isimba Dam, revealed that various efforts have been secured, including importing power from other fields to ensure a sustainable supply of electricity. However, the parliamentarians formed the minister's report on Isimba Power Dam wanting after the interventions could not satisfy the members.
We're now seeing local stories. The Parliament of Uganda has responded to the petition presented before the Speaker, Anita Mong, by people of West Nile about the continuous erratic power challenges in the sub-region. Now, by sending the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources to investigate more about the same. Now, the group presented their petition to the Speaker, Anita Among, on the 4th of this month, and later tantamounted to the presenting of the issue for discussion on the floor of Parliament. Now, stakeholders do complain that the erratic power in West Nile sabotages economic prosperity, health and business, agriculture, and later on academics.
Well, elsewhere, a woman at the heart of R. Kelly's second federal trial has testified that the R&B singer had sex with her hundreds of times before she turned 18. The 37-year-old woman, known as Jen, said that improper contact with Kelly began when she was just 13 years. The singer is on trial in Chicago for child pornography, obstruction of justice, and other charges. His lawyers have insisted he's not a monster and deserves a fair trial. Kelly, whose full name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, Roberts is facing 13 criminal charges, including creating and receiving child pornography, obstruction of justice, and enticing minors into sexual activity. He's already serving a 30-year prison sentence after being convicted of sex trafficking and racketeering in a separate trial held in New York last year. The current case rests in large part of the testimony of Jane, one of his accusers. Prosecutors allege that Kelly made at least 4 videos with Jen, parts of which will be shown to jurors. In court on Thursday, Jen testified that Kelly had sex with her uncountable times, starting when she was 15 years. Jurors were shown photographs of her in high school to illustrate how young she appeared at the time. Now, North Korea's Kim Yo-jong, the powerful sister of leader Kim Jong-un, has firmly rejected a South Korean offer to help boost the isolated country's economy if it gives up nuclear weapons. Kim's comments mark the first time a senior North Korean official has commented directly on what South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol has dubbed an audacious plan under which the South would offer phased economic aid to Pyongyang if it began denuclearization. Yoon reiterated the offer on Wednesday at a news conference to mark his first 100 days in office. To think that the plan to batter economic cooperation for our own nukes is the great dream, hope and plan of Yoon, we came to realize that he's really simple and still childish, Kim Yo-jong said in a statement reported by local state news agency. No one batters its destiny for corn cake, though he may knock at the door with what large plan in the future. As his bold plan does not work, we make it clear that we will not sit face to face with him, she added.
Another story, rebel leader Taiman Edrimi returns to Chad after 17 years in exile. One of Chad's most prominent rebel leaders, Taiman Edrimi, has returned to the country after 17 years in exile, days ahead of the start of national talks aimed at paving the way for elections after the military seized power last year. Edrimi, 67, head of the Union of Resistance Forces, left Chad in 2005, and he had been living in exile in Qatar for at least a decade. His armed group has attempted to overthrow his uncle, Chad's former president, Idriss Deby, first in 2008 and again in 2019. Failing to topple Deby in 2008, his UFR continued to threaten the government, and in 2009, UFR-linked fighters advanced from Libya deep into the Chadian territory before their convoy was destroyed by French fighter jets. I'm very happy to return home after so many years in exile, Edrimi said after his arrival at the capital's Jemena International Airport early on Thursday. I hope that everything will go well to achieve peace, reconciliation, and serenity in the country, he told reporters, adding that he hoped to transform the UFR into a political party. A second rebel leader, Mahamat Nouri, head of the Union of Democracy and Development, UFDD, was also reported landing shortly after Edrimi. In weather and climate news, Europe's storms and death are reported in France, Austria, and Italy. Now, powerful storms have battered areas of Central and Southern Europe, killing at least 13 people, including 3 children. The deaths, most from falling trees, were reported in Italy and Austria and on the French island of Corsica. Heavy rains and winds wrecked campsites on the island, while in Venice, Italy, also most mansions were blown off by the bell tower of St. Mark's Basilica. The storms follow weeks of heat wave and drought across much of the continent, and in Corsica, winds gusting up to 224 kilometers per hour uprooted trees and damaged mobile homes. Authorities there said a 13-year-old girl was killed by a falling tree on a campsite, and a man died in a similar accident. Also, an elderly woman was killed when her car was hit by the detached roof of the beach hut. Now, 2 other people were found dead at the sea, and later the French Interior Minister, Gerald Darmanin, who had arrived in Corsica to inspect the storm, reported the 60th death.
Well, it's Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and the problem, or I wouldn't want to say that the problem, but the reason why it is special, it's because we go out of the norm Monday to Thursday, and this Friday we do bring you Very Paul, a man with an amazing, beautiful voice. He's visited us once before, and I remember asking him, please come back, okay? Please come back, and he's honoring his promise, and he's back. We'll be joined by him, of course, in the next hour as we're having our discussion. And later on, he'll be giving us some beautiful performances. We'll have quite, an intimate discussion with him. So make sure you don't miss out on all of that. And of course, a lot that we are yet to unpack, because why not? It's a Friday, so we need to talk. We need to get ourselves into that mood to be ready to usher in the weekend. And we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that you are ready for the weekend. That is why we are Good Morning Uganda. We'll be back after this break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by.
Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN cupboard. That's super easy.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public.
from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles,
Having a disability is not inability.
professional guidance,
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
and of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Mong and Taiman?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Conservative Party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We own by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week, we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services.
I now harvest a lot of cocoa. When I harvest it, I sell. After selling, I put money in my project. I have 2 projects. One is for construction of my house. 2 is for educating my children.
Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation.
Every marriage has 100% chances of succeeding. You know why? Because God created marriage, and God never creates failure, and God never designs anything to fail. Every marriage has 100% chances of succeeding. Is your marriage struggling and you're wondering whether it will ever succeed, whether you will ever make it, whether it's even worth holding on to? You got to tune into Unlocking Marital Bliss, because right here we provide the keys to unlock the bliss in your marriage, and you will be able to succeed. We've had testimonies, and lives are changing day by day.
Marriage must be a discipline. It must not be handled like a casual thing.
As women, when we have the outward expression, even our form of respect is tied to the outward things that you do.
Some women now have working class. They don't know how to handle their husbands because the marriage has become like question and answer marriage. Do you have any tea? Don't you have hands to prepare it? Why have you come back late? Did I take your blanket? It's question and answer marriage.
Not any other place, but every Sunday, 3 p.m., right here at UBC, with the one and only Cyrus Rod, not any other.
Unlocking Marital Bliss. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Today, the 19th of August 2022. Good morning, Uganda Friday special. We are definitely here trying to draw a cap on the week. I hope your week was flowing well. If it wasn't, still, we do have some more days for you to make it better. We do have a Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully you'll be able to fully utilize those days. And again, you can always join us in our morning conversation. Maybe we could put a smile on that face and have you smiling all day. Well, my name is Philomena Masco, and I am with Molen Kenyana. I do have Felix, and of course, a very special guest that is Very Paul. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Paul. And you look so smart. You look
Thank you so much.
You know, you're fabulous. And somebody was telling me that apparently we were talking and we planned maybe we should.
Oh, it's amazing. I see you put on the same colors today.
Guy. Yes, Felix.
We were in the same spirit.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Felix is trying to get an argument for that, but we'll be okay. Yes, I know you. You're always cooking up something in that head of yours.
It's like, I'm left out.
He's always cooking up something, and just you wait. He will throw it in.
I was going to say that's what you normally say.
Anyway, today being Friday, we want to talk about local content. How have we done when it comes to promoting it here in Uganda versus international content? Now, when we talk about local content, especially we are centering it in the lens of the arts industry. The arts industry cuts across very many things. We do have music in there, we do have theater in there, we have the film industry, you know, to mention but a few. However, the question is, as Ugandans, have we done enough work to make sure that we promote our very own local content, you know, over the international content? Now, this is a discussion we are going to be having, and we will really have to dissect it all the way from the film industry. How have we done? Theater industry, how have we done? When it comes to the music industry, which seems to be the biggest, at least in the arts, quite, how are we doing? How have we progressed? What's the way forward? But before we dissect all of them, maybe just to hear from you, Felix, when we talk about promotion of content, local content versus international content, anyway, generally promoting content, how useful is it? How relevant is it for any industry, especially for a country like Uganda? How would we be able to define it? What's the use? Anyway, why would we have to promote that content?
So when you talk about basically content in terms of art, we're looking at some of the things that do cause true definition of the likelihoodness of who we are as a country. Because content in terms of what reflects our society, in terms of culture, customs, way of life, behavior, personality, language, just to mention but a few. So it's the only thing we can hold on to ourselves and say that this is content from Uganda.
Yes.
You understand? So that is what we're talking about when we say local content. We're talking about that content that is developed that reflects the culture, the customs, languages, beliefs, style, way of life, all these things. And it does cut across in terms of, when you talk about art, you're talking about it in terms of music, plays, movies, poems, authorship. You can look at it as even way of lives, for example.
Yes.
Like what we trade as a definition of our society, you know, and definitely for me, if you want a latter comment in relation to this, Philo, is that like what we sell is what defines who we are.
Yes.
You've seen many times today, many Ugandans, for example, think it's cool to do a song with a dialect of a Nigerian.
Yes.
I think you've heard people say Godo, Monio, all these things are simply reflections of another culture. And that shows how far the Nigerian culture has crossed boundaries.
Yes.
You understand?
So they've done quite an impeccable job
Absolutely.
in promoting their content.
When you come to the hip-hop culture, you see guys here, a couple of artists, for example, we have had previously guys, the GNL have continued to say, the Babalukus, I don't know if Omutuju Gravity does hip-hop, but NASA will be telling
it's
us
hard
more
to
about
categorize
that.
his
But,
music.
yeah.
It's along those lines, yeah? Look up though.
but that is a culture of a particular sect of people
Yes.
in the United States of America. You understand? So for them it is defined as a way of life. Actually, when you talk to the guys of hip-hop, you do notice that they'll tell you for them it's a way they live.
Yes.
So they only express it through music and how they play the lyrics and what. If you're actually very keen to listen, what they talk about in those songs is not different. It's a representation of a particular. So when you talk about art and representation and content, we are talking about those things that truly define Uganda, and individually, by the way.
Yes.
Not in any semblance. It could be how the drums are done. in say Uganda, like how much have we traded that outside? Do we see any other culture trying to, like for example, most recent, one of our biggest tool of trade in terms of content was the Rolex. The Rolex is an invention of Ugandans, and definitely the world has appreciated it, and it is directly related to Uganda. We have sold a word called boda boda to the world, and I think most recent was acknowledged into even the dictionary, you know, to be taken on as a word. Yes. So that is the content we're talking about. Like what have we sold in terms of creation? Like previously, Molen talked about the Nyege Nyege concert.
Yes.
Is it unique? Does it have any part of it that does a reflection of a culture in terms of art? So when we talk about content, that is basically what we are talking about in terms of what we want to trade.
Okay, and with that foundation, and maybe to start off with you, Molen, because I really know you're kind of passionate when it comes to theater and when it comes to the film industry. Now, over the years, we have seen movie producers here do quite tremendous jobs, or at least they put in the effort, okay, to make sure that they give us content that is worthy. But when it comes to the film industry, again, we cannot argue with the fact that we are still struggling, okay? We're not yet up there when it comes to the radar, especially if we are going to compare to very many other, you know, we've had the Nollywoods, we've had Hollywoods, I mean, all these hoods, Bollywood.
But you also have Wakaliwood.
Oh, really? I thought it was Yoga Hood.
She must know Wakaliwood is a Wakaliga Wood.
Yes, so we have all these hoods, yes, and we know that they're really doing quite a good job. Looking at Ugandans, the rate at which we consume all these their products, you know, from Hollywood, from Bollywood, every other day you're telling us movies, we are excited. I am always excited. But when it comes to our very own industry, how are we doing? How do you think that we have put in quite enough effort to make sure that we promote our content from that very specific sector of the arts industry?
Well, I'll start off first of all by saying that we have made improvements.
Yes.
That is for sure. If you look at what we do have now, I will tell you one thing, we have made improvements. And especially because when you're talking about film industry, you also bring in the audiovisual part of it, because that's where you now also bring in the poems. That's where you bring in most of these that complement the film industry. But I'll say one thing, it is still a very, very huge struggle, because if you compare it to some of the, you know, filmmakers across Africa, we're still doing quite low. And my first comparison would be to what is streaming on Netflix right now.
Yes.
And again, we still find ourselves in a position where we compare ourselves with Nigerians. I'll tell you, a lot of Nigerian productions are on Netflix. And if you ask me how many Ugandan movies are on Netflix, it's just not there.
We can basically count them off our fingertips.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the only whatever relationship we had seeing a Ugandan on Netflix was when Zari appeared in Young, Famous and Africa. That kind of reality show that was there. But seeing a movie production from it's Young, Famous and African.
Yes.
Or Rich.
Well, we even had
Rich.
Yeah.
Rich, Famous.
Yeah, you cannot be questioning. But it wasn't that.
Yeah, that was a huge question about Young. And I remember that was trending.
But we had even...
Yes, they are famous. Yes, they are rich. But the Young part, no. Yeah. So you can see that kind of thing. Like, we only have to count on appearances of Ugandans in such series, but we do not have our own productions running there, and I think that's where there has been a lot of struggle. However, there has been also improvement in theatre production. If you look at, we have had the legendary Bakaimbila drama actors still doing more drama and stage performances, but there has also been a lot of decline when it comes to stage performances. I'll tell you, 10 years ago, we would have a lot of drama showing with the likes of Ebons, bringing on production each and every time, but we have seen a low production when it comes to moving forward. And most of that has been attributed to the fact that government has not come in to support. The support of government to have Yugawood, as I would put it, out there is very, very limited. And now film production has to, count on the fact that most of these movies will be making the movies, money, or even partner production with some of the organizations. And most of those are usually limited. They are not the ones that you will be seeing, like big industries taking on. I know that we had a movie that was originally from Uganda, Queen of Katwe to say, and Disney took that on. But we also know that there were issues even when Disney was acquiring rights to shoot that movie in Uganda. Some of the scenes were not even shot in Uganda because of the limitations that came in, versus South Africa. South Africa is one of those countries in Africa that have had to produce a lot of movies with big companies like Disney, Warner Bros. Production. You look at most of the big productions actually, even DC had to shoot some of the series scenes for some of these superheroes from South Africa. We have not had any of that because South Africa made it open for film to be produced in South Africa without a lot of taxes or most of these costs that as Uganda we put across, and that has made them, you know, progress their film industry. And I think Nigeria is also in that category as well. But if you look at Uganda, the process you have to go through to even have such a big production in Uganda is really, really restricted, and that is what limited us with Queen of Katwe. Still happening, I know, with a lot of production, because if you were stopping a big production like Disney, obviously this is going to be known across even you know, Hollywood. Yes, everyone who wants to do something in Uganda, they will remember an example of Disney. They're like, you know what, if we do it from Nigeria or South Africa, they're open to that. So I think we need government support, we need the industry revised. But also you look at the young production, when I talk about the actors and actresses, most of them would rather take opportunities outside in Nigeria than, you know, be limited to the Bina Uganda or Hollywood, because the money is not there. And recently I think we had a very vivid example with UCC recognizing production with film. And the actors and actresses that were even recognized had to, it's kind of a strike after they were given their awards. Yes. They wanted more from that. They felt like UCC did not handle it well. That's how far the industry is. So meaning that if such an actor or actress were to get an opportunity in Nigeria, they would take it. Because right here, they're not even recognized. Even when UCC is recognizing them, they're asking, what are we benefiting from this kind of award? And I think that is what is also bringing us down. Then you look at most of the theater production, stage performance is not recognized across the country. Because I'll tell you one thing. Like last weekend I was in theater, and one of the film or plays that were being given out, like out of an original novel of Uganda, and you will see the kind of attendance there is quite low. And of course, you know, it has to do with more of your connections as a person originating from, you know, sharing it on your social media. But we don't have that love for theater as Ugandans, and I think it has been because of the low production there. You're not excited to go see this particular play because you have not seen amazing or fascinating stuff coming out of most plays in theater, and I think that also limits the capacity of production to go on at that level.
Yes, and while we are still talking about the film industry, we also did have, I think, The Girl in the Yellow Jumper that was running on Netflix by Lukman Ali, one of the renowned Ugandan producers. And one of the challenges he was highlighting about is, again, in line with government. They were saying that sometimes they need to be given accessibility to certain places to be able to shoot their movies. Because when you look at The Girl in the Yellow Jumper, most of the scenes were actually shot in all these slummy areas. And his point of argument was that sometimes you need to let us go. If we're going to go to the national park, let us do it. I mean, if we are using international streaming platforms like Netflix, we are also trying to sell some of these places, and it could build up when it comes to tourism. So he was saying government just needs to come in maybe from that corner and give them accessibility to some of these areas. So I mean, again, that is something we are leaving entirely to government to also think about, because at the end of the day, we will all benefit from tourism. But enough about the film and theater industry. Let's talk about music, which, I mean, one of the most, if not the biggest sector of the arts industry that has been quite infiltrated with international trends. And I will tell you, for example, Paul, you're a musician, you have seen the trends that have been going in and out of our music industry. Lately, this year, we have had quite a number of Nigerian artists come in Uganda. And recently there is one local artist who is having a show anytime now, an event anytime now, and he was saying, listen, we have promoted so much the Nigerian music as opposed to our very own music, okay? We're not doing enough. Even when you go to bars, you'll play our local music, you know, just there, maybe at the start of the night, midnight, but for the biggest part of the night, it's going to be Nigerian music. But do you think we have done enough as Ugandans to promote our local musicians, our local music, both here at home and internationally? How are we doing when it comes to that?
Philo, it's a two-way traffic. When you talk about music, you talk about art.
Yes.
You talk about culture. And culture is identity. When you talk about reggae, what comes to someone's mind will be Jamaica.
Jamaica, yes.
We remember times of Congo when Lumba and Lingala was too much here. So these guys, like the Nigerians, they have tried to create an identity for themselves. And what's causing the problem here in Uganda is that some Ugandans now are trying to go to the side, like trying to be like the Nigerians, as Felix said from the beginning. So we make people think that Nigerians' content is the best.
Yes.
So when you're trying to market your product in a new market, your new product in the market, you don't try to be like your competitors. You
that's
don't
why
try
we're
to
getting it wrong. Yes.
Yeah, that's why we're getting it wrong. Let's get our identity. We remember the times of how Chameleons and these three guys pushed out the Congolese music here.
Yes.
It was too much. Everyone was Congolese. Everywhere you reached was Congolese.
Lingala.
But these guys struggled. They brought out something that was different. If they tried to come in a direction of the Congolese, they would not beat them. But they came up with something different from the Congolese, and people received it.
Yes.
Reception depends on what the receiver, the final consumer, will feel. If I want to come and try to tell people, you know, I'm better than Philomena, and and when people see me, they see me. I'm just trying to be like Philomena, and I want people to. I want to beat Philomena out of market. Definitely, it won't be.
It will not work out. Yes.
This is what happens. We as Ugandans, Uganda is very talented.
Yes.
Music-wise, very talented.
Very talented.
We need to stick on what we want. As more so, there are two stakeholders: the music producers and the receivers. Those are the receiving end.
Yes.
The consumers. So everyone has to play the role. We have to bring a content that is super and good and is standard, and then which will sell to the final consumer. And still, this final consumer needs to know that this content also is expensive to produce. So everybody has to play the part. These people have to support us. You see Nigerians.
Yes.
There was those whites music and everything, but these guys stick on what they believed in, and their people supported them. They supported them to Africa. Even right now, you see Davido going to UK, to London, and the whole Wembley Stadium is full.
Yes.
People have received Nigerian music, but why? Their people stood by them. Even right away from the scratch, they stood by them and they supported them, irrespective of the content. The content was bad.
It wasn't really.
It wasn't really good. Those
interpret a word. English, but Nigerian,
like pigeon. Is it called that pigeon?
The pigeon English.
Yes.
They fused that Yoruba and the Igbo beats.
Yes.
And they fused them. They put in some urban stuff. And the guys are doing great.
Now that you speak of Davido, I remember in a recent interview, he did say that he was actually applauding Nigerians, saying that Nigerians, whether artists, whether ordinary people, they have taken it up to themselves to promote the music, especially the Nigerians who are out there. You will walk into a bar, okay, or any venue, and a Nigerian, just an ordinary Nigerian, will walk up to the DJ and tell them, I will give you this amount of money, but play for me this Nigerian song.
Wow.
Like they're so passionate about it. So the consumers play such a huge role. And he was saying that now that gives us a certain type of energy with the musicians. Like, you know what, I'm going to produce my music, but I know that the Nigerians, wherever they are, different parts of the world, will be able to take it in. They will like it for as long as it's a good product, it's a good song. I am sure they will support it. However, I don't know if we can say that simple. Our Ugandan counterparts here.
Yeah, that's why actually some Ugandan artists are trying to change from our music, from the to
crossing to the West African music, because people are telling them, you know, guys, this is what we want. But our beautiful consumers, we can do better, and this thing can be so good for you.
Yes, Felix. Felix seems to be total disagreement.
There's a problem.
Yes.
And when you talk about, and I really love Ugandan music personally, since my childhood, I would die for Ugandan music. But here's the thing. It's just not about consumption, and for me that's the issue I have with Ugandan artists or whatever people who do production, movies, whatever kind of art. They are so mediocre. They are very mediocre in terms of production, in terms of composure, in terms of every other thing they do. They are so mediocre. Have you ever
tried to know why?
Well, I think it's some, and for most of them, by the way, it's simply about. You see, let me just say this. People in Ugandan industry, art industry, some of them are in this industry for the wrong reasons.
That's one of the reasons.
I'll tell you why. And we talked about Nigeria so much, and I want to use it as an example. Have you had Nigerian productions? For the music we listen to, honestly, the Burna Boys. You talked about Davido, there's Wizkid, the Tiwa Savages, the Thames, the Nkule, whatever, Gold, and all those guys. Have you had their productions, like, and the time they put in to bring something out? When you look at their video work, but you come to our dear artists here. One of the reasons why some other countries' art has been very much well promoted, they are investing more time in building brands, not individuals. When you see, I've been privileged, by the way, to attend lots of Nigerian concerts, even out of this country. I have seen the spirit of other artists and how they push fellow artists. There's a time Burna Boy was in London, but the people who marketed most his show were other artists who were on every platform. Like, for example, if you host Mullen here, the first thing they'll talk about, as they close the show, by the way, don't forget to attend Felix's show. It's going to be in London, for example, in London. Shout out. They'll play all those clips of over 50 artists talking about the show the guy is going to do in UK. Because Mullen keeps on telling me, my followers, my supporters, blah, blah, let's go down and do this. If you've had, do you know why most of these guys win these awards in every almost contest they go into? Like, almost every other person is, but the issue of art is their problem, is their issue. Come to Uganda.
Felix, we had actually kind of started that trend. I don't know what happened. Artists,
when?
Yes,
When, Philo?
We had, no, we did.
It's died before it started, that's the thing.
Seriously, I think there are like about 2 artists I saw. I think one of them was Spice Diana.
Who did
Another
what?
one was, they were having events and other artists were making all these clips calling for people to support them. It was Spice Diana and another artist whose name I forgot.
Let me tell you.
I don't know what happened.
But you guys, before you go deep into this concert king,
Yes.
let's get to know where all this starts from. What Felix talked about Nigerian content being so good and the production. When we talk about production, we talk about money. We talk about investment. You know how much it takes to shoot a video like that of Burna Boy? Like 10,000 USD.
And Ugandan artists here, they spend that money in the bars than spending it in. They spend that money trying to prove a point.
Let me tell you this. Most of the Ugandan artists, most of them that would love to do such beautiful production, such very good audio production and visual production, they don't have the means. They have the talent, they don't have the means. So there's mediocrity, as you said, but there's also lack of means.
Let me also add, the mediocrity is by choice. That's a matter of fact.
Guys, I also don't want us to categorize it and say in general, because we have also seen some good production. However,
absolutely,
we've seen one of the musicians actually who has done a tremendous job at shooting very good videos is Bebe Cool. I'll give him that. He has gone way and beyond to actually
these videos won. That's the thing.
To actually shoot good music, and he always gets there. So it seems like even when you take out the money out of the picture, we are not promoting it like Felix was putting it. You will see that there is a concert over the weekend and an artist will be hosted anywhere and they're not even promoting it. They're not talking about it. Even if it is out of the country, like what does it cost you for you as a Ugandan to say, hey, by the way, next weekend Bebe Cool is in London and maybe Chameleon is in the US, so that even your followers who are right there in the diaspora can be able to go and support.
Let me give you guys a very simple example. Yes. We all know Tanzanian music was very down and very poor,
which is still down by the way.
But we have seen some guys like
those are two artists.
Those two artists, at least they are doing good. They are doing good. What brought this up? These guys embraced their people. They supported them. When they supported them, they got their money. They started doing some good production.
Well, there are not very many artists that they have. It's okay.
But even the one, if you look at Diamond, if you look at Diamond's music, it's kind of, he has embraced his culture upbringing of music. It's unique.
Okay,
and he will easily route it to Tanzania.
How many years has Diamond been in the system, and how many years has Bebe Cool, Chameleon, and Bobi Wine been in the system? You can't compare. But Diamond is.
He's been around.
Who, Diamond?
Yes. No. Not as long as Bebe Cool, Chameleon. Not as long as Chameleon, Bebe Cool, and
you see the reason why our content is not selling.
No, we have to just because we really want our
let's be honest.
But I mean, facts are facts.
When you have someone, you know, I have hope in this person, but this person has something in the future. Support that person, you'll see him on the top. But guys,
don't throw them.
By the way,
as you're trying to conclude this, Felix, I just want I know you still have a lot to say, but just in a few words, what do you think would be the ideal?
Lastly, let me tell you, Ugandan content, the people, the content developers are very unnecessarily arrogant. They are unnecessarily ill-mannered. Thirdly, they are unnecessarily, actually, you know, the worst thing is someone when thinking they know yet they don't know.
Very indisciplined.
They're very indisciplined.
Yes.
It's hard to help them. You know,
true.
Someone goes to street, someone has one song in a million years, and they are who's celebrating you, dude? Calm down, be helped. Yes. Some people can't write music.
That's important.
You know, some people can't write music, and they can't accept that they can't write music. Other people elsewhere in the world have 5 albums without any song they wrote. Music, you see, art has different players.
Yeah, exactly.
You have writers, you have producers, you have instruments, you have even in all these things. We need to deal with the ego. For me, I think the problem, we are just, you see, Nigerian music is going to be here forever as long as we don't deal with ourselves.
Yes.
Let's do the right things. We know the let me tell you, I have listened to like Chameleon songs. You may never find such content in Africa. Trust me. But people don't take time now to appreciate that music. And the other problem we have got most recent is the politics. How dare you bring politics in an industry like art? Last time Chameleon was being almost banned in South Africa by people saying, because what the hell? but no one is chasing Diamond Platinum in their country because he sang for the late Baba, Magufuli. For them, it's politics, be out of this. Let's promote this industry. But guys in there, do the right thing. You can't be singing and sing what's happening. Who's going to listen to that nonsense?
Let us know what you think about as how are we doing when it comes to promoting local content in the arts industry here in our very own Uganda. You can send us your feedback, your thoughts, your opinions, your 2 cents on 0709 602 592. 0709 602 592. Get onto Twitter. Use the hashtag UBCGMU and we will for sure see your thoughts and we'll be sharing them with the rest of our Good Morning Uganda family. But all in all, we all have a lot to do, especially from both the stakeholders in the industry. When it comes to the promoters, when it comes to the producers, when it comes to the artists, there is quite a lot of pending work that has to be done. But even we, the final consumers, we have to do a lot to make sure that we promote our very own. But we cannot promote music that is not up to standard. So clearly you see where this comes from. We'll be getting into the dailies after here. We'll be having some performances. We'll be having the updates from weather and climate. So it's still Good Morning Uganda Friday special. We have quite a lot to tell you. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother, but I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it? Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. This is Vera Paul. We're going to be singing together. This song is called Elohim. So you can worship with me, you can sing with me wherever you are. God bless you. Can we go?
Israel's King and Redeemer, the first and the last.
Come on.
The Lord of hosts, Yahweh Nissi, the ancient rock, my salvation. For all you've done, I gladly bow to sing you a song full of praises. Who is like you, Lord? And let him proclaim it. Elohim, truly you are God. Adonai, you're the living God. Who is like you, Lord?
Who is like the Lord?
And let him proclaim it. Oh, Elohim, truly you are God. Adonai, you're the living God.
Listen.
Lord, you're great. You're clothed with splendor. You stretch heavens out like a tent. You turn the clouds into your chariots. You ride on wings of the wind. Roll the earth on its foundation and bring forth food from the earth. For all you've done, I gladly bow to sing you a song full of praise.
Who is like the Lord? No one is like you, God.
Oh yeah, and let him proclaim it. Elohim, truly you are God.
Truly you are God. You can say with me,
Adonai, you're the living God. Who is like you, Lord?
No one can be like our God.
And let him proclaim it. Elohim, truly you are God. Adonai, you're the living God. You're the God that makes the seas to flee.
Yes, Lord.
You speak your word and mountains bow down. You never change forever. You're the same. You are God alone.
Is God alone in your life?
You are God alone. You're the God that makes the seas to flee. You speak your word and mountains bow down. You never change forever. You're the same.
He's the same.
You are God alone. You are God alone. You are God alone.
Is God alone?
You are God alone. Mountains bow when you move. Problems flee when you speak. You're true to the word you say. You never change. I know you live and forever trust you.
Come on.
Yeah. Even in its grave, you will still be. And you will take my hand. Yeah. And no one turn my evil. For you are here with me.
Come on, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. You never change. You never change. You always make a way for you. He never change in your life. He knows you. He knows you. He loves you.
God bless you for this morning. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning. That the song was called Elohim. God bless you. Our next performance, the song is called Olutalo Lono. Everybody has a battle, is struggling with, be it relationship, be it family, be it finances, but God will see you through. God bless you. Yes, we go.
Nasitole chikere neninyama olutalo nga nina ensuubi olinsangayo. Nalintidde olutalo empulira eddoboozi litotya nze ndi ku luuyi lwo. Engatto mu bigere kitala mu mukono n'ennyumba nga ndisize kimu. Tikwe wayogera era lumu olinegattako. Kati natuuka munange olutalo olukonyiza ddala eno naye nabanyiga mpedda abalabe bangi tenesuubiri nzigweddemu.
Come on.
yegwalina esaseri sembayo mikono mubanga nawanika yegwamanyi kati ekiddako sibiddako gwe omu gwe waŋŋamba nti oliberawo mukama munange nkulindiridde kwata omukono ngendera ddala sirina gye ndaga siraba gye nzira ze n'essuubi lisulawo buli kimu kikoze esaala nzisabye era nkimanyi zikutukako bali bwe twasiga bali mu byengera bali amakungula nze wange byagana ddala nfubye naye teri yadde kikyukako kati nsaseewo leka ŋŋume kuba wayogera ku ntandikwa titoliva wano wendi era lumu olirabikako leka ŋŋume ŋŋumiddeku gwe yegwalina esaseri sembayo mikono mu bbanga nawanika yegwamanyi kati ekiddako sibiddeku gwe omu gwe waŋŋamba nti oliberawo mukama munange nkulindiridde kwata omukono ngendera ddala mumiddeku gwe yegwalina esaseri sembayo mikono mu bbanga nawanika yegwamanyi kati ekiddako sibiddeku gwe omu gwe waŋŋamba nti oliberawo mukama munange nkulindiridde kwata omukono ngendera ddala kati kwata omukono neza omukono mugambe mukama neza omukono kwata omukono nina abaana yenze essuubi lyabwe naddayo nteeka ng'abiganye munange buli kimu ekyange kiri mu gwe munange kati nkwata essuubi lyonna mugwe taata. Oh, God bless you, God bless you. Katonda yalina essasi erisembayo. In every situation you're going through, no one should ever threaten you.
Can I tell you the battle I am fighting with right now?
Oh, yeah.
Money.
God has the last bullet.
Amen. Money is the biggest battle. I don't know what battle you're fighting, Mullen.
Well, it's also related to money, I can tell you that. Yeah.
Money everywhere?
Money. But I know that everybody is facing quite such a very serious battle.
But the earth and everything in it belongs to the Lord.
Absolutely. There is nothing we own, but also I know that when you kneel, you become humble, you become modest before God. He definitely listens. I can attest to that. I've had quite some very serious, I have maybe, what do they call them, testimonies. Yes, I have testimonies to be able to give. So I know what you're talking about. But thank you so much for that beautiful performance. What was the name of the very first song?
The first song is called Elohim.
Elohim.
Elohim means God Almighty.
Yes. I almost confused it with the last words that Jesus said on the cross.
Elohim.
Yes. The man knows his Bible. Well, thank you so much for that performance. That is very Paul, and he's here with us. He'll be giving us some more performances as Good Morning Uganda Friday special goes on. But for now, getting into the press, what is happening? Starting off with the Daily Monitor, MPs order probe into Isimba Dam. Now, when did the rain start beating the power generation farm? These are the hard questions that are being fronted by some of these parliamentarians. Now, this is one of the key questions. Parliament expects the Ministry of Energy to address the country and, of course, as they yearn for more power. And Museveni shuffles about 35 senior army officers. That is a change of guard, where some of the changes are Kanodewa Kiki, who has been reappointed as Deputy Defense Spokesperson, replacing Lieutenant Colonel Ronald Kakurungu, who has been appointed the Deputy Director for Strategic Communications. That and many more reshuffles were done. Look out for all of them in the Daily Monitor. Airlines boss tells MPs she lost her senior 4 papers. This should be I think the UCE papers. So look at that as, of course, the COSA says keeps probing into this whole Uganda Airlines issue. Still, more stories concerning Kenyan elections. U.S. delegation meets Uhuru, Ruto and Raila days after general election. Now, we know that it's quite some bit of mayhem. We know that Raila Odinga does not accept the results. However, things seem to be moving on smoothly. Now, get yourself the paper and catch up on that story. UNEB sets dates for 2022 exams. Page 4 has a full story of that. And on to the second page, looking at the archives, we see former Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir with President Museveni and then leader of the rebel Sudan People's Liberation Army John Garang, who met on 27th of July in 2002 in Kampala. Now, this meeting was followed by a protocol announced in Machakos, Kenya, aimed at ending the civil war which began back in 1983. Today in history, NCC objects military council proposal. The year was 1980. And again in history, captured US spy pilot sentenced in Russia. The year was 1960.
Well, we'll cross over into the New Vision for this morning, also giving you a big headline right there about UNEB as parents are to attend briefings. Now, details of PLE, UCE and USC examination timetables are inside. That is on page 6 and 7 of the New Vision for this morning. Now, they give you a big picture right there. Museveni tells UPDF to support Federation. That is right there at the Kabamba Military Academy in Mubende district. That was yesterday. Full details in the New Vision. But also crossing over to Parliament, MPs to lose seats over absenteeism. That is on page 9. They give you a picture of the Deputy Speaker right there. And Asian expulsion, I have forgotten Uganda, says Ruparelia. Of course, he's also giving his insights on page 40 to 41. And in Cheyo, kidney case, family rejects shillings 30 million. That is on page 36 of the New Vision for this morning. Now, crossing over to the second page, over 50,000 youth to benefit from shillings 27 billion grant. That is also in the New Vision. They give you a big picture right there from some of the officials of the Junior Achievement Alumni, where the grant is coming from, and also giving you what is happening after the heavy rains across some of the suburbs in Kampala right there. Today in history, they're taking you back in 2003 when Obote Amini accused of torture. Also back in 2008, Zambian President Mwanawasa dies. They're also giving you that story right there today in history in the New Vision.
The sports section of Daily Monitor barred from Garuga the 2022 FIM Africa Motocross of African Nations. That is the highest ranking professional motorsport event in Africa. And more than 140 riders are expected, but brothers Stav, Aviv and Elon are set to miss out due to issues with licenses. Now, Namutebi bows out with silver. Coach releases experience. And looking at Manu turn to Casemiro, this is of course plan B, where Manchester United have made an approach to sign Real Madrid's Brazil midfielder Casemiro in a deal that would be worth about £60 million. That and many more in the sports section of the Daily Monitor this Friday.
And in the New Vision Sports, I'm good for the captaincy. Now, looking about Uganda last hosting the motocross of African Nations, Arthur Blink Jr. captained the team to victory. But he still says ever since then, Uganda has never tasted the sweetness of his prestigious trophy. 10 years later, championship is back and Uganda is at it. Blink is still looking at the Blink Jr., the son to the former captain, captaining the MX Cranes. That is also right there for you as we talk about the African Nations Championship with motocross. But also in the New Vision Sport, that is the varsity sport, they're giving you what is happening right there. You see Peter Ogwang, who succeeded Hamson Oboa as State Minister of Sports, the function that was held at Nakasero State. But also words from the First Lady. I trust in you, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha, right there in the picture, as he lauded outgoing State Sports Minister Hamson Oboa over his advocacy in increasing funding in the sports sector. There are more details in the New Vision Sport, also more on the ladies golf team as it takes shape with Team Uganda.
So grab yourself a copy of either the Daily Monitor or the New Vision to make sure you catch up on all those stories and many, many more. But also, one thing you have to look out for is weather. The weekend is here, like I said at the start. It was quite raining cats and dogs from Monday, Tuesday, all the way. The question is, are we going to be experiencing the same weather patterns for today, for the weekend? And that is where Molen comes in.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It seems like these rains are not sparing anyone, and they're coming in really, really intense. Because yesterday, almost the entire day was just, full of all that coldness and the rains here and there. And that is one thing that we can count on for the rest of this season, because the rains are only beginning. This is just early signs of the onset for the September to December second major rainy season. And of course, looking at what we're expecting for the weekend, obviously we'll dive into that later. First, let's take a look at what is happening across the country right now. We'll be tapping in from the EUMETSAT satellites, showing us the picture across the country now. This is quite different from what we had yesterday. At least there, there's a little bit of light. And in saying that, I mean, we do have mostly sunny conditions across much of Uganda, right off from the eastern sector, where you see the open blue colors right there. That is indicating quite sunny skies over there. And that takes in northern Uganda as well. A little bit of few clouds developing. That is across areas of central northern Uganda, Gulu, Padel. But it seems like those are also just clearing away. We have a few clouds also in white colors right there. They're starting to develop towards midwestern Uganda across Lake Albert. That is also moving westward, so most likely that system is also moving quite a distance from the Ugandan area. Southwestern Uganda continues mostly cloudy weather. We did start off with those clouds, especially across Kabale towards Mbarara, Bushenyi, towards Fort Portal as well, right the way to the western side of Lake Victoria. That is where we have Masaka area right there. Also starting off with mostly cloudy weather. Now we might be looking at a few of those rains coming through, but at least not like we had yesterday. These rains that are coming in will be mostly in low intensity, not enough to disrupt your day for today. So I can tell you one thing, at least it looks like today is quite different from yesterday. Even the areas that where we do expect some rains, it will be just in very, very small quantities, not really much to be disorganizing your day. So, but I wouldn't recommend mostly daytime activities, especially if you're looking at the weekend, because what is in the forecast is actually indicating more rains that are coming your way now. This is a bigger picture of what is expected for today, and where we're looking at more rains, especially across the country. We're looking at mostly the northwestern part of the country, where we have Arua, Yumbe, and mostly across that region, West Nile, where we'll be having more rains compared to the rest of the country, at least for today. And that will cover even into the afternoon. So if you're headed over there, or if you are around there, you might need to prepare for this kind of weather. Now, northern Uganda is also highlighting mostly rainy weather for today. They'll be crossing over into the afternoon. Also across Mount Elgon, that is where we have Mbale, Bududa, Budaka. That area will also be having rainy conditions. But the rest of the country seems like we might be looking at quite intervals of sunny, cloudy weather and a little bit of rains, but not so much to disrupt your day. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we're looking at more rains still. That will be now a pickup from where we'll be leaving it off today. We're seeing more rains coming through across West Nile. This will be quite heavy, looking at areas of Arua as well, Yumbe across northwestern Uganda. Also for the Karamoja region, the forecast does indicate that we might be looking at more rains for that area. Also across mostly parts of central that are likely to have more rainy conditions. The Mount Elgon Highlands still continuing with those rains, and a little bit of pickup when it comes to the Lake Victoria Basin. We'll see more rains again for tomorrow, but those will also be across a few areas and also mostly afternoon hours. But across southwestern Uganda, we're seeing like there will be a little bit of mostly sunny weather as we talk about tomorrow. So Mbarara, Bushenyi areas across also the western parts of Lake Victoria, by the way, Masaka, Ringo, Kalisizo, might be looking at reduced wet weather conditions for tomorrow. Now let's take a look at Sunday. As we head into Sunday, we now see more rains developing across the country. Entirely the whole country will be having wet conditions, and that will be at different times. We're seeing more of those picking up from areas of Mbale, that is Mount Elgon Highlands, Budaka, Bududa again, West Nile, a little bit of reduction across West Nile. But again, there will be rains over the area. Central, North, Gulu, Kitgum, Padel, we're seeing mostly those darker blue colors, indicating that we'll be having those rains continuing, especially across that area. A little bit of reduction for the Karamoja region, but more pickup in terms of wet weather for areas of Southwestern, extremely towards Kabale Highlands, Fort Portal, across areas of Lake Albert right there. The Lake Victoria Basin looks like we'll also be having those rains again in areas of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono, Entebbe. We could be looking at some of those rains at least picking up. There will be a reduction on Saturday, but Philomena, I can tell you Sunday will bring those rains back, and obviously those will also be associated with cold weather. So you might need to keep your jacket again for Sunday.
Well, yeah, I'm glad that Saturday we want to be there are chances that we want to be experiencing the rains. You know, it's Saturday when we have weddings, when we have all these other functions. So Sunday is usually a laid-back day. You're at home after church, and you go back home, make a meal, and that's it. So I think the weather is quite favorable for the weekend. My prayer, or actually my worry, was that Saturday could be a wet day or it could be a rainy day, and it will ruin everything.
If you're anywhere across Central, you know it's not going to be a rainy day, but it's going to be pretty rainy for guys in the North and West Nile. If you're traveling there for your weekend, make sure you're ready for that kind of weather.
Just carry all those umbrellas, carry the jackets, carry the jumpers, and all that you can to make sure you shield yourself from the rain. Well, that's it. Thank you so much, Molen, for all these updates. We're going in for a break, but when we get back, Molenia has a special guest. What are we talking to after the break?
Well, we are talking about a lady who has taken it as she's a sports enthusiast.
Okay.
But also she has now gone ahead to give a memoir of her life through sports experience, but also what she reflects from that experience, and it is in a book. Now, this is the book that we're going to be talking about mostly, and it is titled "Boots Don't Lie." There's a lot to uncover in there, and of course we'll be bringing you more of that.
Ruben must be happy wherever he is, because he's a man of sports, and anything to do with sports, or anything that kind of looks like sports, or anything sporty, it brings a smile on his face. Well, do stay around. We do have that interview coming up, Molen, and of course with that very special lady talking about her memoir, her life when it comes to sports. Good morning, Uganda Friday special continues right after this.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by.
Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN cupboard. That's super easy.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed, and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions, plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services.
I now harvest a lot of cocoa. When I harvest it, I sell. After selling, I put money in my project. I have two projects. One is for construction of my house. Two is for educating my children.
Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation. It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it? Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Monga and Taiman?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP. You yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Yes, Good Morning Uganda Special Friday still continues, and of course there is a lot that we unpack for you. Well, this morning we are bringing in a very, very special lady, and of course talking about her memoir. Now, This is a very good professional when it comes to the subject that she's writing about. We're talking about Mariam Mpata's story. Well, she is also a sports columnist with the New Vision Uganda, but also a published poet and first-time author who has also holds a master's degree in sports management from Real Madrid Graduate School. That's a huge profile, and it's interesting because I want to know what shaped a story like this for you to publish to this extent. You're very welcome, Mariam, and thank you very much for joining us this Friday. Say good morning to our viewers.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a big honor to be here, and I feel very excited because it's first time I'm talking about my book, Boots Don't Lie, on TV. So I feel very honored and thank you. Like you said, my names are Mariam Melosime Mpata, and I'm a sports activist. I began my sports journey some 15 years ago in a very interesting scenario because previously I was not a sports person. And I was one of those young people who detested sports actually. I used to think sports is for men, you know, it's too tiresome. So what's the big hustle, you know? So I found all sorts of ways to dodge playing sports. And at one point I remember participating in a marathon by default because I was a head girl and I had to inspire other young people to participate. And I remember coming in second last, and one of the things that was going in my mind was like, I need to finish this race to inspire the others so that I don't let them down, you know. But then when I moved to Mombasa in 2001 with my young family, my young son, who was about 8 at the time, he loved playing football and he was constantly playing with the ball 24/7. It was just crazy. And he would sleep with it, wake up with the ball. So one time he kicked this ball over a wall fence and it landed smack in front of the windscreen of a Mercedes-Benz and it cracked. And that moment was very, you know, disheartening for my neighbor because she loved her Mercedes-Benz. And, you know, we had to pay for the damage. And I had to take some action because I knew this young man would still do it again. So I started looking around in Mombasa, looking for a football academy where he could play. And then because I couldn't find one, I thought to myself, you know what, I'll find a field and, you know, collect some of his friends, buy them a ball, take them to the field and get them to play, at least in a safe environment. And really, that's where my journey for sports began.
That's very interesting because this is personal for you, even being inspired by your son throughout that challenging time. I think maybe he was worried sick after saying, okay, I've broken this person's windscreen. And maybe she knew, I mean, he knew you would punish him or something. But again, that's inspiration for you to look forward and say, you know what, I think I should encourage him to play more. And Mariam, you do have 15 years of experience in sports. And writing this memoir, what is it for you? Like, how would you take that upon yourself and say, yeah, this is my journey?
You see, 15 years of being in sports, for me, was life-changing. But one of the things that kept ringing behind my mind, even as I got involved in sports and, you know, ran tournaments and all these things, there was this passion for writing that I had as a young girl. When I was 13, I was writing poetry and, you know, dreaming about books and all that. So for me, writing this memoir was a combination of two things, sports and writing. And one of the things that kept me going even as I wrote this book, because I wrote this book for 10 years, close to 10 years. And each time I would, you know, want to give up, I would remember my childhood dream, writing. And for me, it resonated because it helped me deliver on two aspects, because I wanted to tell my story about how I started this football journey and what it has meant for me and other young people who have been involved in the programs, but also to encourage you know, young people to read and write, you know, in a culture where we are not very confident and we have, you know, forgotten so much about writing and reading. I wanted to share this story so that young people could also move out of their comfort zone and realize that there's nothing impossible, because once you have resilience, there's nothing that can stop you from achieving what you want. So for me, writing, it took me 10 years to finish the book, but it has been a journey that has transformed me, that has transformed some of my readers, because I get numerous comments from the people who read the book and get inspired by it. Yeah, so it's quite been a journey that has been amazing and incredible for me.
Well, there you have it. Yes. Books don't lie. Now, Miriam, this book has 4 parts, and there is a story in each part that you're explaining. And I know that the readers would want to know, like, what journey are you taking them from? What is it for you from the very first part of the book, that is like your first chapter, into the 4th part? How are you explaining it? What can the readers be looking out for as they read through these parts of the book?
So the first part of the book is basically about how I began. And one of the things that resonates in the first part of the book, which is called The Whistle Has Been Blown. It's about me finding myself in a foreign country, because being Ugandan in Kenya and being able to find my space was not as easy as it sounds, you know. And I remember having this dream to start a space where my son and his friends could play football. And then just as I was beginning to, have this dream and think that I could actualize it, then Kenya went into the post-election violence. That was in 2007. And I remember we had to come back home and, watch Kenyans, on TV, watch the elections on TV and watch things going wrong. And in my mind, as I tell the readers, it's quite interesting how even through all that dismay and worry and, sadness, I discover that football actually, or rather sports, could be one of the things that unites Kenyans, that brings young people back to the field. And reading through the part 1 really helps young people and the readers to understand that even when there's chaos, even when there seems to be nothing, there's always something that can, be built out of it. And I started a football program in that very messy time, trying to find a space that can bring young people back to the field to enjoy what they love most. And in the process, we ended up having so many diverse players within the program. And so for a person looking for inspiration in terms of how can I get out of a messy situation, why is God putting me in this situation, how can I rebuild myself, then part 1 would be one of these things that can revamp your spirits and get you back going to, to the right moment. Yes. Yeah.
So then that's like kind of, it takes the reader through the story of where it all begins. And of course now that's your whole journey. You're taking us through that into like the final chapters. Like for you, how, even talking about it right now, it's like your journey and you want people to know, and a lot of inspirations right there. But as you're moving into the final chapters of the book, like what is that message that you're sending out that your readers can relate to your story and be like, yes, this is the beginning, but this is how she did it, and this is like the end she wants us to envision.
Yes, okay, for example, the other chapters in my book, I talk about my childhood. There are so many young people out there who struggle with lacking, struggle with not having parents, struggle with so many challenges that come their way, maybe academic challenges. Some of them struggle with incompetence, even people in the workplace. Sometimes you can feel that you're inferior. Sometimes you lack confidence. But I can tell you that as I struggled through life, those are issues that I struggled with. And very many times I would also gauge myself against the world and think I could never be a writer, When I look at how successful other people are and what I used to write back then, it was very naive and shallow-minded, But then one of the things that I would like my readers to know is that resilience is key, and you must be your #1 supporter, because I remember very well that when I pursued the issue of writing poetry, I used to write to very many publishing companies with I had a collection of poetry and I would write to them and I would receive rejections. And I know even now when I look at the poetry that I used to write, it was very kind of like, you wouldn't gauge it among the best. But because of persistence and the fact that I believed in something, I got to become a published poet. And from just writing small poems to being a published poet next to the likes of Shakespeare in an anthology, for me that was a game changer. And it is something that I never thought I could even do. And also another thing that I think that people need to understand is that we all start from somewhere. And in my book it's very easy to pick out the aspects of humble beginnings, because when you, for example, there's this instance when I was giving a book talk, and I met a young person who came to me and said, how did you become a columnist? I want to become a columnist. And I asked them a few questions. I said, okay, if I went on your social media platforms, would I know you're a writer? Would I know you have passion for writing? He said, oh, I haven't started, and you know, so I told him, look, you have to start. Sell yourself, you know, be persistent. And for me to be having that dream of writing and, you know, writing and publishing and all these dreams that I had, it took me all these years. I became a columnist in my 40s, you know. So when a reader, I believe, reads this book, it's very easy to be able to pick out those aspects of life that can encourage you and inspire you to understand that we all begin from somewhere. And with persistence and hard work and, you know, not giving up on yourself, you are able to reach that ultimate goal that you want.
It is really an inspiration, because I know a lot of people that would easily be like, okay, writing is probably for people who are already established, without knowing that actually, like you said, you have to start somewhere, and of course that will inspire you to even do more. And with you, even I know that you have founded a lot of sports initiatives here in Uganda as well as Kenya, but also through your writing you have done women, like advocating for women's rights, and that is something that you have also done through your writing. Tell us more about that kind of journey where you now have to, you know, have these initiatives, but also look at the human rights aspect, especially for women in writing.
So one of the things that has been very prominent for me is the realization that women in sports have not been given much opportunities, and not even just opportunities, but equal opportunities. And so I set myself up to write about some of those injustices, speak about them, and also try my best to role model some of the characteristics or what we want to see for women in sports. And one of the things that I've passionately gone out to do is to basically write about it, and to also encourage you know, institutions, governments, and people out there that women have every potential, you know, that can be, because once a woman is empowered and educated and you know, given opportunities, there is nothing they can't do, really. But I also believe that we must be ready. We cannot come to the table when we are not ready. We have to
take that space for ourselves. And you must admit there are not a lot of women in the sports industry.
And there are not many.
And like you mentioned even at the beginning, like they have that fear that, you know, sports is for the men. And we always oftentimes like feel inferior, like you won't even perform. You know that you're diving into the industry that is male dominated. You don't even know whether you will perform. But looking at you right now, having gone through that journey, but also not for yourself, but for your son, like you encourage him to take it on, and you know, going through all these initiatives to start up, this is kind of inspirational. And I know your readers out there would want to know, like you know, an inspiration, something that you tell them, how do they get to that point, but also as we move to conclude, like mostly where we can get copies of this book, and maybe more about how to access most of these initiatives.
So I run you know, a football academy in Mombasa in Kenya called the Junior Stars Youth Development Program. We run programs called Watoto Africa, Soccer Awards, and all these programs are based in Kenya. But one of the recent initiatives that we started is called Africa Sports Foundation Center. And this center is based in Iganga, and one of the things that we want to really passionately speak for is sports education, because one of the things that we've realized in Africa is that we have all the passion and talent, but we have not harnessed it because education and knowledge and skills in terms of management is still, it's still lacking. So one of the things that we want to really advocate for is, of course, again, ensuring that there's gender equality, there is inclusivity, is sports education. And one of the visions we have is to set up a sports university, because I believe that, and because also of exposure, I've been abroad and I've seen that when you have knowledge and sports and knowledge and sports and passion and talent, there is nothing that can go wrong. You will be going on a trajectory, kind of movement. But if you have the passion and you have the talent, you cannot manage it properly if you don't have the knowledge. So for me, I believe that with this center and vision that we have in Uganda, we are going to be able to change the game plan for women and young people and men as well, in the sports industry at large. But also to just remind the readers that Boots Don't Lie is this kind of book that can inspire any person, because it's written for everybody. It's written for a housewife who is trying to find their way, trying to find what else they can do in this world. It's written for the community worker, someone who's working with community, struggling with the challenges of community. How do I build my community?
Everyone can actually relate to
anybody
this book.
can. My 11-year-old daughter reads this book and finds it inspiring. So it's also a book that can be used even at university levels to help young people understand social entrepreneurship. It can be used by sports institutions and governments to to relate on solutions for what we need for our industry. So yes, so the book is for everybody. And again, to answer your question, it's in Aristoc. You can find it there, which it's costing 50,000 Uganda shillings. We are going to set it up in Mukono Bookshop as well next week. So the book is in Uganda, it's in Kenya, and it's available for any reader who is interested in it.
Well, there you have it. You now know where to get this book, and of course, knowing that Mariam is here with us, for us, we already have a copy of this book, and I can tell you there is a lot that you can look forward to. Thank you very much, Mariam, for coming through for today.
Thank
and of course, give us your conclusive notes.
I just want to say that there's nothing impossible for young people, and there's nothing impossible for women. We need to step up. The most important thing is for you to be prepared, because they say preparation, and when you are prepared and you meet luck, then you get successful. But if you're not prepared, then it's impossible. Go back to school, empower yourself, study, harness your passion. What is it that you're passionate about? Follow through. Prepare yourself. Don't take it for granted and say I like writing, or I like cooking, or I like fashion, and you don't empower yourself. But once you empower yourself, the opportunities come flowing, because there are very many in this world. There are many opportunities for us to grab and take the step forward.
Well, there you have it. Take the step forward, be empowered, and of course, be an inspiration to yourself. That is the message that Mariam is bringing across. Thank you very much for also gracing us with this kind of writing, and we do appreciate it. But we do know that the weekend is here, and there is a lot that you would love to catch up. Now, you have already heard from Mariam. You can get this book from anywhere. But we also have to spot out for you what else you can look out for over the weekend. And we're talking about some of the movies that are making headlines right now. And I'll tell you one of those. If you are one person who likes fiction and horror, there is a new series that is actually coming out today on Netflix. And well, I don't know about horrors, but this one is taking you through a very good story of adventure, but also more to do with what happens. Now, it's a story of The Girl in the Mirror. This is the title of this series that is coming out today. The Girl in the Mirror is explaining after losing her memory in a bizarre accident that kills most of her classmates. Now, Alma tries to unravel what happened the day and also regain her identity. That is like a day of the accident. What happened? She doesn't have the memory. Does that even come back? this is the horror fiction that you can expect. Let's take you through the trailer and we'll be diving back into what else to expect.
Necesito hablar contigo de lo que pasó ayer. Ahora no, aquí no. Deba, siéntate.
against Wolves. That will be at 2:30. Then at 5, Palace will take on Aston Villa. Everton will take on Forest. Fulham will take on Brentford at Craven Cottage. Leicester at King Power will take on Southampton. Then Bournemouth, that will be the late game at 7:30. Will take on Arsenal. The Gunners. Then of course. But we shall have other games from the French League 1. Salzburg will take on Reims. Angers will take on Brest. Clermont will take on Nice. Not Nice, but Nice. That's the French pronunciation. Then Montpellier will take on Auxerre. Not Auxerre. Some people pronounce Auxerre. It's Auxerre. Then Toulouse will take on Laurier, and then of course Renault will take on Ajaccio. That will be in the French League 1. The Serie A, a couple of games will also be played, and La Liga as well. Of course, in Germany, Dortmund will take on Bremen, Werder Bremen. Then Leverkusen at the Bayer Arena will take on Hoffenheim. Wolfsburg at the VW Arena will take on Schalke. For Augsburg against Mainz. Stuttgart will take on Freiburg, and Berlin. One of the biggest games for me, I will have the Serie A. Torino looks a small team, but when they play Lazio, it's a good game to catch. Udinese against Salernitana. Inter will take on Spezia, and Sassuolo will take on Lecce. That will be in the French, rather in the Italian Serie A. And then, of course, in the Spanish La Liga, of course, other games in the Serie A, we shall have Empoli against Fiorentina. Napoli will take on Monza. Monza, I smile because the red car when you used to have the Italian Grand Prix to take place in Monza. So I love the city, that is Monza. Then Atalanta will take on AC Milan, and Bologna, not Bologna, but Bologna will take on Hellas Verona. That will be at 9:45 on Sunday. Then, of course, Frankfurt will take on Cologne, and Bochum will take on Bayern Munich on Sunday. That will be at 8:30. Then La Liga for you. I will have Bilbao against Valencia, but Atletico Madrid will take on Villarreal. Then Sociedad will take on Barcelona. That will be at 11 p.m. Tomorrow. Then on Sunday, we will have Osasuna against Cadiz. Mallorca will take on Betis. Then Celta Vigo will take on Real Madrid. That will be on Sunday. Then the FA Cup as well. We have a couple of games that will be played in the FA Cup. That will be coming up. The rounds for the qualifiers for the other rounds of the FA Cup. Well, unless otherwise, but I've got to leave sports at this. I know the team that will be led by John Barnes Sentamu, Michael Sefmalu Wandaga, and Timothy Kutesa will be here to analyze the games, to analyze for you, to actually give you a recap of this weekend, what will be happening, or they will give you a preamble of the sporting activities that will happen over the weekend. And the biggest is the English derby. Manchester will take on Liverpool on Monday. I'll get here on Monday morning to see who is injured, who is going to be part of the game, who is playing what role. So, but of course, Barnes will be at 1:30 to give you more sports, and of course, they will expound more on basketball. They'll talk about cricket. They'll talk about football as well. So you have a reason to stay tuned to UBC TV. But of course, I've got to let the team I take you through. But I love the fact that Molin has talked to me about the trend in terms of shoes. You know, I'm not a fashion man, maybe, but when he teaches me, I can also learn a word or two, a thing or two. Maybe she will tell you the type of shoes you're putting on. Otherwise, have yourselves a blessed weekend.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday!
Freaky do! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant what? Couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Monga and Taiman?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Friday special. We are still here with you, and because it's a very, very special Friday, we have been with Veripol all the way from 6:30 until now, and he's been giving us quite some beautiful performances, and there is another one he's about to give us before we also give you quite some special information, of course, coming in from him. But right now, I understand that you're going to give us Tam Tam, right? What is the meaning of Tam Tam?
Tam Tam means sweet.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, why did it end? I didn't want it to end that
My
day.
question is that, is it dedicated to anybody special or just generally, what's the story behind?
It's a song I wrote after, when you see here, there's a certain verse in the, that says, so Jesus is love. Jesus is love. I'm talking about Jesus is love.
Yes.
He's so sweet.
Okay.
I've never seen a love like that.
Amazing.
He loves even those that can't be loved by anyone.
That's true. There are people who are really so hard to love.
Yeah, true.
Okay, please, let's do this Tam Tam thing. I'm very excited. I want to know how it goes.
All right, let's go. The song says Tam Tam, and we're just going to be doing this song together with you, wherever you're watching us from. The song is called Tam Tam. Jesus loves you, irrespective of what you do, irrespective of what you are. Come on. You can dance with me wherever you are. Hey!
To sit down, mukwano n'abakinda banga guddene eddalu omuntu eyalina ebitibwa nabirekawo neyewaayo ng'alinga tabuse n'omuntu bambi olw'omukwano gwe omungi kyamusukako zokuzikirira nga tudde yetunulako ono mukwano gwe gwesukako gwe baŋŋamba kubukanisa z'empamvu nze nandibadde wasinga teyajja nannyamba ensi yalinze yantunda siyinza kwe kuba makonna kuba byonna byonna obisinga Yesu omukwano gonga gumbunyeebunye. You can sing with me. Olina wannyonyogera omutima nasigala nga labye ekimyanso penzi lako tamtamu Yesu penzi lako linashangaza sana mazima ndekanga lwa mukwano laba nze nabwe mbonya katwiyo oli ku 10 abandi bali ku 0 nakutamiira kye maze kuyita hero ebyali binsibye byonna walimenya kebo wansomosa wanzijayo wankubajiya wansingira nkumu kyevanze nkuyita sebo nafuna nessanyu kuba natuka ku dipo oba nkunogerese bakamuli kutale akarooza kakoowa kagewo tulo oba nkutemeze kala akanyama mu kiro naye byonna byonna bisinga Yesu omukwano gunga gumunyebunye benzirako tamtam olina wannyonyogera omutima nasigala ngalabye ekimyanso Yesu penzi lako linashangaza sana mazima nekana lwa mukwano laba nze nawe mbonya katuyo penzi lako tamtam tam 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 penzi lako tamtam oh oh tam 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 penzi lako tamtam wabona nnyo Yesu wakuwa n'ekiboko penzi lako tamtam n'omusalaba gwewetikka mukwano gwali gwange penzi lako tamtam ne bakufugira malusu bambi nga kyo yoli masikini penzi lako tamtam omwana wa kabaka ne bakusiba nga kyo yoli muyaye penzi lako tamtam oh oh tam 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 penzi lako tamtam oh oh tam 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 penzi lako tamtam hey hey God bless you. That's Tam Tam for you.
I really didn't want that song to end. I was really getting into it, and now you're just stopping. You don't know us like that.
The energy in
the energy.
Okay.
I love the energy, guys.
Well, you were just speaking from what we were having, so I could say the Socia was doing wonderful things.
The energy is great. I like it.
Sure. Thank you so much. That was a very beautiful jump. But the special news right now, okay? I had a little bird was whispering to me somewhere. There is a new project you have been working on, all right? And I know that at the end of slightly a few minutes from now, we'll be knowing what it is, and we'll also be lucky to watch what it is, and maybe we'll be the first people. Who knows? We could be the lucky blood. Yes,
yes, exactly.
But first, tell me about this new project.
This new project is called Hello Mama. It was, at first I was, when I was writing, I wanted to write a letter. But I came to realize that letters are now, they are no longer working. Like, these days everyone has a phone.
Everyone, yeah.
They're old fashioned. So I wrote it in form of a song, a phone call to my mama. I left my mama in the village the year 2002. Had come to Kampala to come hustle with life.
Yes.
So this is a dedication to all those that have their parents out there, those that are abroad. You left your parents in the village. You are here in Kampala trying to make ends meet. You are in the Arabia. You are in Europe. You're in the America. You're trying to fix life, but things are not working out. But believe me, parents' prayer work a lot. Parents' prayer work a lot.
That's true. Some of us,
the song is called Hello Mama.
Parents' prayers. Hello Mama.
I like the chorus. It says, "Wekanya sala, esala mama, nkuba haso na iru munja kwasa."
Well, like, have you worked with a few people on this project?
Yeah, in this project, I have Mick Wine. You'll see the video. You have Mick Wine. I have King Saha. I have Dax Vibes. I have Sesabad. You know Sesabad?
Oh, Sesabad. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so those are the guys. Thank you, King Saha. Thank you, Mick Wine. Thank you, Dex Five. Thank you, everyone that did great in this very beautiful video. And thanks to my video director, Wadostar Pictures, Frank Wallet. He did a very great job.
Wow.
He did a very good job.
Well, for now, I know that you're also going to be giving us a performance any minute now, and then we'll be able to premiere the video.
Oh, yes.
Listen, guys, we're going to be the very first lucky lords to watch the video. But for now, the audio first.
Forward this song to your mama out there.
Yes,
I know she will like it.
To all the mothers, they do wonderful things and great things. I mean, we appreciate you every other day.
We appreciate mama's energies.
Oh, yes.
Let's go. Hello, hello mama. Mbere no, nayo mutima gusuleyo. Nchimanyi bulungi, maso gabeera mu kkubo mama. N'omutima guluma, webuuza loliddamu okundaba. Nange gye ndi eno, era situdde mama. wanya okuyiya sirene bye nasuubiza naye nsanga bingi ebinyiga omutima mama nga sirina ne bwe mbinyumya ne nkaba amaziga era nabikwasa Katonda oyo anyiga emitima atalina kimulema oyo n'ababi abakira era tebakulimba nti nakukyawa maama wange omu kyali mu aso mama sijja kuswaza kwekanya sala esala mama kuba aseno manyirumu nja kwasa kwesaba esala esala mama ndi mu aso mama yongere sala kwekanya sala esala mama wange kuba aseno manyirumu nja kwasa kwesaba esala esala mama ndi mu aso mama yongere sala yenkunyumiza entya bino ebyensi bitiisa mama emirimu gitunyigiriza ng'abatudde ku maggwa ne bantu bannaffe emitima gyavunda dda omuntu akulwanyisa afuba akuteeke wansi ne be nalina esiga omutima bagumenya dda kati nasigaza saala y'emundwe wange mu nju mama wange nkulamusizza nnyo manyo ndaba mama wange Nambiito kwagala nnyo you're the best wekanya sala esala mama kuba aseno manyirumu nja kwasa kwesala esala esala mama ndi mu aso mama yongere sala mama nkomawo nzira ne bye nasuubiza gawadde nkyayiriba naye sijja kuswaza nze nesize mukama yamanya ensonga zange oyo watandesengera tajja tuswaza ab'ebigambo abo nsonga zaabwe ffe twesige mukama yatagenda tuswaza mama komawo nzira ne bye nasuubiza gawadde nkyayiriba naye sijja kuswaza nze nesize mukama yamanya ensonga zange oyo watandesengera tajja tuswaza ab'ebigambo abo nsonga zaabwe ffe twesige mukama yatagenda tuswaza mama nkwagala nnyo.
Well, Mama, to all the beautiful mothers out there, we appreciate you every single time. And in everything you do, sometimes they think we forget about them, but the hustle. Yes, the hustle is really, really very hard, but it doesn't necessarily mean
and
that.
moms are always praying for us. Like, I feel like they're doing that part.
Very important.
You know, they're always praying for us. We pray a little and then go hustle, but they do that part. I want to appreciate them so much.
Yes. But I know that everywhere we are thriving on our parents' prayers. Our mothers really take a minute or two, or take really some good time. They kneel down and pray for the children. And again, we appreciate you every single time. Well, Paul, thank you so much for really coming in. Now, of course, as we go, we'll be launching, rather premiering the video of this beautiful song to all the mothers out there, okay? Whether you're not biologically a mother, but you have taken on that responsibility of being a mother to somebody, I think that's...
And their fathers who are mothers.
Yes, their fathers who are mothers. Exactly, So, I mean, the role of motherhood is very extensive, okay? We don't know where to stop, we don't know what, but it is quite extensive and it cuts across very many people. So as we go, we are leaving you with the video. We are first. Again, I'll repeat it. We are the first batch. Okay?
Because you're the best.
Because you're the best, I mean.
We lead and then others follow.
Thank you so much. Well, for those of you who have been able to keep it us here on Good Morning Uganda with us from Monday until right about now, we appreciate you, we treasure you, and we hope that you have a very beautiful weekend. Hopefully, we'll be able to see you on Monday. We love you, but we have to leave you. Bye.
omutima gusuleyo nkimanyi bulungi maaso gabeera mu kkubo maama n'omutima guluma webuuza lwoliddamu okundaba nange gye ndi enno era situdde maama fuba nnyo okuyiiya sinene bye nasuubiza naye nsanga bingi ebinyiga omutima maama nga sirina ne bwe mbinyumya ne nkaba amaziga era nabikwasa Katonda oyo anyiga emitima yatalina kimulema oyo n'ababi abakira era tebakulimba nti nakukyawa maama wange omu kyali mu kaso maama sijja kuswaza wekanya sala esala maama kuba kaseno manyirumu nja kwasa besala esala mama ndi mu kaso mama yongere sala wekanya sala esala mama kuba kasi wekanya sala esala mama kuba kaseno manyirumu nja kwasa besala esala mama ndi mu kaso mama yongere sala mama komawo sira ne bye nasuubiza fune suubi nga wadde kyayiriba naye sijja kuswaza fune suubi ze nesize mukama yamanya ensonga zange fune suubi oyo watandese era tajja tuswaza fune suubi ab'ebigambo abo nsonga zaabwe fune suubi ffe twesige mukama yatagenda tuswaza mama komawo sira ne bye nasuubiza nga wadde kyayiriba naye sijja kuswaza ze nesize mukama yamanya ensonga zange oyo watandese era tajja tuswaza ab'ebigambo abo nsonga zaabwe.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay? If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the possible. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by.
Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola, weekly or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN cupboard super easy.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello, this is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the